All right, before we get started, you'll notice I decided to have my wife cut my hair just to clean it up a little bit, right? Because I'm on camera. You'll notice this side, not so bad, right? Not so even. This side gets a little worse, a little real estate. And then, like, when you get to the back, yeah. So, now that we got that out of the way, enjoy the video.
Hey everybody, I'm a guy, you're a guy. None of us like going to doctors, I get it. And especially if it's a sensitive issue that you don't really want to talk about. Well, that's where today's video sponsor, Roman, comes in. Erectile dysfunction is more common than you think. 52% of men over 40 experience erectile dysfunction at some point. Even worse, about 75% of those guys don't seek treatment. That's why Roman has made it easy to chat with a doctor online. With Roman, you get medical care for ED, if appropriate, from the comfort and privacy of your own home. You can handle everything online in a convenient, discreet manner. Getting started is simple. Just go to getroman.com/SSR and complete an online visit. If your doctor decides treatment would be appropriate, they can prescribe genuine medication that can be delivered in discreet packaging right to your door with free 2-day shipping. Erectile dysfunction can be tough to tackle, but it's really important to get checked out. With Roman, it's easy to connect with a doctor. So visit getroman.com/SSR. There's a link right below in the description. That's getroman.com/SSR. All right, everybody, Rob already here, and I was going to town on that, but I ran out of time to do that. I was bouncing around today. Today I did something. It was my niece's birthday. We did something that was incredibly awkward, but it's what we're doing right now. We did a parade of cars past her house for her birthday. The honks, the balloons, the waving, everybody showing face. But obviously you can't contact because we're social distancing. That was weird. But I drove this car today, which I normally wouldn't do because I was going to take my Ferrari, but it's a couple of cars deep. It's running tight on time because when you get into something, I'm like, yeah, I'll leave in 15 minutes. And I look 40 minutes later, I'm like, I got to go. So that happened. But here, this car, it's going to be Corvette day. I'm going to talk about Corvettes because there's two things. One, this car, there's a class action lawsuit. Now, remember I did the thing about the wheels cracking, right? I had to buy new wheels because my wheels kept cracking, and you weld them and you crack them again. There they are. I've got that. I got those wheels there. Those are the Corvette Z06 wheels, factory wheels, and let's see. Yep, there's a crack right there, crack right there. Well, GM refused to acknowledge it. Now there's a class action lawsuit. So if you've got a Corvette, obviously, it's going to be settled at some point in time because the problem is real, but GM will be acknowledging that those wheels were poorly designed or poorly made or whatever, and they'll be doing something. And I'll get a check for 34 cents one day. Some lawyers are going to get very wealthy, but I'll get a check for 34 cents. Other than that, we've got this, which is the Corvette C8. And speaking of defects, so like a lot of people are on the way, oh, my transmission went bad, this is my leather, my stitching. My car now has 1,880 some odd miles, right? Because I just drove it today. And I've got to say, it's pretty damn near perfect. I've had zero issues with it. The stitching here is uniform. That's when somebody on the forum said, oh, my stitching is uneven. Some other person said, transmission went. So there's a group on Facebook of C8 owners and then fans of the C8, whatever. But I asked, hey, unscientific poll, how many people had a problem with their car? And like, I put options like, was your stitching bad? Did your transmission lock up? Did you just have to go to the dealership for something and they could solve it? Or did you have no issues? And I got like 50 responses from actual owners, and I think like 95% of people had no issues whatsoever. 3 people had issues that required going to the dealership, but it wasn't the transmission. It wasn't anything specified. It could be anything simple. But it's a problem-free car. There's over 2,700 of them out there, and they're actually like stopping. I don't think the production is going to go a full year now, so it's kind of a wonky year for Corvettes. It'll be a story year that we talk about forever. Even my convertible will probably end up being a 2021 by the time it's done, which I guess is good for me. But the car has no problems. I mean, my car, 1,800 miles, it said 10 people have driven it so far, maybe 12, whatever, 10 or 12 people have driven it. The car has been flawless, not even a check engine light, no issues. And I do have my first damage to report. So that's the extent of it. It is reliable for me. It's been reliable for pretty much every other person that's bought one and driven one. And I'm happy to report if you buy one, you'll be in good shape. But here is the first damage. Now, I guess I'll have to take the top off to find out how this happened, but a guy just rented it. We missed this, and we suck at that. When I miss damage, I'm like, oh, we could have caught that. The last customer to take it took it out for a couple of hours and said, oh, yeah, I don't need to know how to operate the top. I got this. And obviously, he didn't got this because he damaged it. Now, I think, and I just have to look how the things line up in the trunk. He either dropped it on the ground. I mean, this stands the chance of being a rock chip, but I don't think so. That would have to be a perfectly placed rock right there, because it would have to sort of land in here. I think it's more so that when he went to put the top in the back, that he put it in wrong. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm not going to take the top off to figure it out, but I'll just spitball it and see if it makes sense. So the top locks in. You put the back here and then the front there. You know what? I don't know if that's... You know, yeah, it probably does. I'm not going to take it off to figure it out. But if you put it in wrong, I was thinking if he put it in upside down, he may have scratched it on this side or this side. It would probably have dug in right here. Yeah, it's probably it. It's pretty sharp edge there. But no matter what, it's the first damage, 1,800 miles in. And it's tough. I don't know how to fix that other than it's a full sand and buff, because it's you can feel it underneath the paint there. So such is life. No longer a perfect car, but I'll take it. Now, speaking of not a perfect car, people love to be like, oh yeah, it's like all the praise at first, and then they wave a YouTuber saying, well, here's what the 10 things I don't like about my C8. I think it's a great car, but I did find out finally something that I don't like about it. And this is more of an engineering thing, not anything to do. I love the Targa top, and I love part of having a Targa or a convertible in the Northeast or anywhere where it sort of gets cold is taking that top off as soon as you can. And I was running late today, so I took it out of here with the top off, but it's cold. So I just did what normal people would do. I turned the heated seats on, and then I put the windows up. And the problem there, that's like convertible guy 101. Like, you want the top down, you want to be able to look at the stars or whatever, but it's a little chilly at night or something like that, so you put the windows up and turn the heat on. You get, when the Targa is off, right, Targa off, and the windows up, you get a terrible buffeting over 80. So like 80 to 100 miles an hour, it's like banging you in the head. And that's sort of an engineering thing. Mercedes has definitely mastered that as far as having like pop-up wicker bills or something that comes up out of the A-pillar or something to negate that so you don't have it. This one doesn't, and that's the first actual gripe that I have with this car, to say like it's not like perfect, like, or it's not super well designed, super well engineered. But again, that's a very specific situation. I put the top on after I did the parade when I had time. I put the top on, and that sort of solved the issue. But it is an issue nonetheless. There's my Corvette update. I thought it was important to bring that up, cover the class action lawsuit, cover that, and let you know that these cars, it's doing well as a rental car. It's the only thing I really have that's moving. And it's also an indication that this car is not like the other cars right now, because obviously, like a Lamborghini, cool, AMG, all these other cars are very cool. The issue you have with this car, the reason this is going out more so than the other cars, is people are renting this to drive. Now, a lot of people think that they're renting this car to drive. Oh, if I rented the car, I would do 250 miles an hour. most people, our rental business is really tied in to socializing and like crowds, people, crowded spaces, restaurants, parties. That's what the rental business is about. It's more of an accessory. I'll get into that in a whole nother video, but that's the reason that this car is going out, because this is new. Everybody wants to experience it and drive it. Everybody knows this is going to be awesome, but they want to drive this when they could be seen and not just for personal driving enjoyment. A lot of people that talk about renting cars from me say that they would rent and they think that everybody's renting for the same reason they would, but those aren't actually my customers. So, Rob Ferretti, Corvette, sitting here, available for rent. If you're interested, check out GothamDreamCars.com. It's not on the website, but you can get the phone number or email me, rob@GothamDreamCars.com. Hit us up on Instagram, whatever you want. We'll make sure you get behind the wheel of this if you want to try it out and see what it's all about. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. So you guys are familiar with my other company, Adventure Drives, right? Well, this year we've got 2 trips coming up. One, which is starting in Seattle and ending in Jackson Hole in July. That's going up through the Canadian Rockies, coming down through Banff, Yellowstone, Glacier National Park, and Grand Teton National Park. It's going to be phenomenal. Also, we're going to be going to Scotland in October. We're going to be doing Scotch distilleries, playing golf at St. Andrews if you want to do that, walking around, seeing lakes, waterfalls, driving the North Coast. It's going to be an amazing trip. Prices start as low as $2,500 per person for the shorter trip in Scotland, about double that for the longer trip in July. If you're interested in going, check out the link in the description.